been a long time since I have seen this screen, Troy. I haven't done anything in due process since back in 2022. I took a bit of a hiatus, and since then, we've got a brand new player peak. We've got new developers keeping this game alive, and throughout the course of the Due Process League, plenty of new champions as well to lift that trophy up and claim themselves as the best in Due Process. And before we can crown another champion, we've got the preseason to guide you through. My name is Fellow. I'm joined here by Troy as my co-commentator. How are you feeling today, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. First games of DPL, exciting times. We'll see what's to come.
Absolutely. We've had 19 teams register for this preseason 5 versus 5 tournament, and we'll take a look at that bracket to see who exactly will be facing off for our first best of 1 series. If you don't know or don't have any information about this tournament, the first rounds of play will be amongst 4 teams. Those will be a best of 1 series, and then round 2 will have the rest of our teams playing to get a chance at qualifying for the semifinals. Those will be in a best of 3 format as well. And the grand finals, I think, is the same, but in the past, we have also had best of 5s as our grand final series. The first to 7 rounds will win that map. If it goes into overtime, there will be a tiebreaker casual match where the first to 4 rounds will win, and hopefully we won't have a tie on that either. That could be extremely awkward. But again, we want to know who exactly is playing in this tournament, so we will go and take a look and see who exactly will be facing off against in our first best of 1 series. We have Radis versus Nakudama, some players that we've never heard of, and a couple of old veterans in the Due Process scene as well, Troy.
Yeah, I've heard Radis is actually a full Australian team, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it could be a pretty interesting thing to see how ping works, because I know some people on Nakudama are also from Europe, so I don't know if we would be forced to go on central servers or east. That would maybe force some players on extremely high ping, which can make the game a little awkward, but just the cards that we have unfortunately been dealt with. But if you want a chance to maybe take your shot at the Due Process League or play in one of these 5 versus 5 tournaments where anybody can sign up, if you want to have a chance at playing with a bunch of your buddies and having a good old-fashioned time, you can go to @dueprocess.info on your URL. Click that in, and it'll bring you to our dedicated website where you can go onto Steam, purchase the game, which is dirt cheap right now. I think they've had several sales throughout the past couple of weeks. They had the game at just under $1 at one point. I think it's a little more expensive now, but it's still worth your bang. I've had hundreds of hours of experiences in this game, and there really is no other type of video game like it, and I would highly recommend it.
When the game gets you, it holds you.
Yep, you can never quit. Like I mentioned, I took a 3-year hiatus and still came back. You get those urges in the back of your head, man, and they never leave you. But I think we have an actual roster graphic that we could put up for your screen as well, just to name off some of the players that we have. I know we have Radis's full roster as well written in our notes. We're playing today. Again, the full Aussie roster is Harry Cactus, Mod, Patman, King, and 20th Century Fox. I actually played with Harry Cactus back when he first bought the game, so he's also a bit of a Due Process veteran, but again, not as large of an Aussie scene in this game. They kind of get swept under the rug, maybe forgotten about a bit, but he's hoping to prove his point today and maybe have a chance at beating one of the more likely teams to make it past that first round of elimination. Nakudama, it's an extremely old name, held with a lot of veteran players like Smitty, like Surfront, like Mackie, all players that are extremely good, and some newer additions to Due Process as well, like Shinny, who is, I think, now top 5 or 4 on the leaderboard as well. So they've got a pretty stacked roster and people who have, clocked in plenty of hours, at least in recent times.
Yeah, very exciting. I haven't had the pleasure of playing with them, I don't think, but I am looking forward to see what they can accomplish on the field today.
I can't remember the last time I've officially casted for a Due Process match as well. I know I mentioned the 2022 year. I've done a couple of practice casts with people like Nog before, so I can't wait to get a chance at working with him. But he also is playing in the tournament, so not too sure how that's going to work out for him. I think he's in the first round playing with Dynamic Index, Broccoli, and Stormier. But again, we talked about this roster already. It's Radis, Nakudama. You got the full Aussies versus a mix of players that have been in the series for a long time. I think the only person who I haven't highlighted specifically is Cats, who's their 5th player, who I haven't actually seen play in either any of the scrims for Nakudama or any recent games of either ranked or any other tournament. So I'm interested in seeing what their role is going to be in that series. And same thing for Radis, where the last person I really hung out with was Harry Cactus a couple years ago. And since then, the game has changed completely. New weapons, new pieces of utility, like the shield and torch, which are a little older now. But for me, that's something when I first came back to the game, I was like, what the hell is this doing in the truck? Why is there a shield in the game now? And on top of that too, I think another big shocker for me was that red doors were no longer wall bangable, which I thought was honestly pretty crazy, but it's a more welcome experience. Is there anything in particular that you've been like a big fan of that's been introduced into the game, Troy?
Ooh, well, I'm a big Dawn fan personally, you know.
Base.
It's just such a good weapon. No, I'm fairly new to the game myself as well. Like you said, the game was under $1 at a certain point, and I got it myself for 70 cents. Best decision I've made of my life, definitely. So I was there when the shield and the torch were already implemented. So for me, I'm a youngster. We'll see how it goes.
With our downtime, of course, I can also mention some other teams you might end up seeing on stream later today for our round of 2. Again, I mentioned this earlier. There's only going to be 4 teams playing in this first best of 1 series total. The 2 winners of that will advance into round 2, where they will either be playing against Q Process or they'll be playing against Arise, which is one of the new coming North American teams in the circuit. I did mention 2 of those teams. You also have Frogs. You've got Last Minute, which is a slew of people. They've got a Kazo playing in that match as well, who is someone who kind of took a big break from Due Process and is now coming back for the tournament. So I'm sure that'll be really fun to see as well. But I did just get word that we actually have people queuing into the lobby. We'll get our observers in shortly when the game officially starts and they're granted permission to spectate. In terms of maps, is there really anything that you're like excited to see? I know that we get like a whole like wide range of tile sets, but is there one that is really nearest and dearest to your heart?
Ooh, yeah. I'm a bank enjoyer, definitely. The shotgun potential there is great, and I love my shotguns.
True.
But the big flanks and the big outplay potential, I always believe is on Dome. The angles there, the verticality, it's something you don't see on the other maps. So I'm very curious that if we get a Dome map, how the players are gonna respond to that.
Yeah, I think Bank is a really fun, and I don't know if I'd call it iconic, but it is a very like visually pleasing map to go on. There's a lot of different ways that you can breach into the map. Usually it's not bad to go free door if it is entrance, but sometimes vents can be a really big challenge. So it's really cool to see teams implement split takes where they can go through vents and have the take still be successful. I'm personally a big fan of going through vents in those kind of positions. My personal favorite map, I gotta say it's Kill Dome though. I think it was still like a fairly new map back when I was playing, and it has some of the most like vibrant parts of like a map of all time. I think Jungle's a really cool part of the map. I think Beach is very iconic as a free door that you can most of the time get through without a big difficulty. And now in Kill Dome, you also have a lot of really long angles that makes the Saber valuable. With a lot of maps being close quarters, like Kill House, for example, sometimes the Saber can be kind of slept on since it's nerfed, but it's still a really good gun put in the right hands. Maybe we'll see some Saber action today. I think Mackie tends to play it every once in a blue moon, but I could obviously be wrong. I haven't seen Nakudama play in quite some time, but once we get everyone officially loaded into the lobby, the series, of course, will start in that best of 1 format, and hopefully for the Aussies, they don't get stuck on 300 ping.
I am looking forward to the first game, definitely. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully everything goes smoothly.
Fingers crossed. You mentioned your favoritism towards shotguns. Is there any role that you like to play specifically with shotguns? Like, do you like to play entry? Do you like to flank with shotguns? Or is there something else you're a big fan of?
I've always played games fast, like run at the enemy, get close, and deal with them as quick as possible. Of course, tactically, as Due Process is known for, but I'm definitely one of the first to enter. Flashbang, go in, and just hip fire. I can't remember the last time I actually aimed with a shotgun, which is probably a bad habit, but yeah, I know of some good players who we'll see later in this tournament who have some crazy shotgun potential as well.
So I think one of the best shotgun players in Due Process right now, Jet, also one of our lovely developers of the game at this time, is a big shotgun fan. They're usually the main like tub or DL player for their team. And he also mentioned that he likes to hip fire with a shotgun. Someone asked him in a 10-man, hey, do you prefer to brace or fully ADS with your shotguns? And he just point blank said hip fire. No further comment, didn't even elaborate on it. And I was like, wow. This guy's got aura. This guy knows what he's talking about. But hey, it's your favorite map starting off. It's Bank, and it's also one of the newer Bank tile sets in play as well. This hasn't been out for that long besides a couple of weeks.
They seem to be planning to bar the red door, which is an interesting play, definitely.
So it looks like they're trying to prioritize getting entrance control since that security is really weak. No one can actually play in there. That really only leaves like teller and accounting as a main power position for the defenders that they can use against Nakudama's attack. They've got Smitty on the shotgun as well. And having that server breach as well could really create a nice 1-2 punch just to not funnel them in through that green door.
I think with the red door, what he's planning to do is actually stealth barb it. So as soon as they pop the door and the smoke covers him, he's going to secretly place down a barbed wire if they go for that door. Which, looking at the equipment, they might.
The term for the more seasoned players is flogling it. There was this player who used to love barbing red doors once they were blown up, as if you put any kind of barbed wire near an explosive device, it will be destroyed. So you have to make sure you keep them at a safe distance. But there goes the first breach out by Smitty, the shotgun rush coming in, and it's Kamita actually to get the first opener against the defense, as this free push has gone off without a hitch. They've got teller control as well, looking to slowly close in on this map as they already have a lot of pressure established. They've got Allen they have to worry about next, though. He's playing close with the shotgun. It's been breached open by Smitty, and he's playing rather passive. Cat's the first one defending that doorway, and Smitty will trade with the DL, eliminating the tub player, and now putting us back in a man advantage for Nakudama. But through accounting, someone creeps in from the window, fighting back, but again, the trades have been consistent. Nakudama are keeping this man advantage, but as I say that, once again, someone else springs in through accounting. This time it'll be Fox to put us at a 2 versus 2 and slow things down.
Very exciting. Ooh, and it's a 2v1.
Unfortunate loss of life there in through lobby. I think they were trying to contest before the button was pushed, as getting into vault is a really major pain against this long crossfire, and Smitty is just okay, I think he was invisible on our screen, or I'm just completely blind, but either way, that's 3 kills for the man with the DL and a pretty straightforward round for Nakudama, not even using the nades. They still have 2 frags going into round 2 and 3.
That's very good for them. Definitely, they seem to have retrieved the clacker, kept 1 shotgun. They are in a strong position right now.
So was there anything that you were a major fan of through that take that we had from both entrance and server rooms by Nakudama?
Definitely a solid idea to split push that. Prevents them from getting funneled into servers. Solid push. They saved the nade for the barbed wire, which was definitely risky, but it played out well for them. So let's see how this one goes.
Up next, we've got C-Store in play. I don't know if this is like a visual bug for us, but it looks like we're loaded into a casual mode and not ranked. So the round count might conclude a little earlier than we anticipated. I noticed that in the upper screen saying that's unranked, but I didn't think anything of it.
That's definitely true.
That's a little weird. All right, so I guess we're either leaving home early or we're getting another game after this one between Nakudama and Radis. But this map I actually played recently in a scrim. This C-Store is incredibly small. With the bomb being in bathroom, there are a couple of interesting ways to push in. Shotguns are still super strong on most C-Stores, including this one. Usually what you do as an attacker is either blow in from like arcade or storage. If you go from storage, you want to use a wall charge into bathroom. That way you have direct access into the bomb. But what Nakudama are opting for is to clear out from entrance to eliminate all these longer lines of sight that the defenders can use. And maybe after that, they can get some teller control established and then push their way into Bathroom. But it seems like there is some potential change in strategy here last second by the attack. It seems like they're not fully sure what they want to do. Okay, they've committed the wall charge onto entrance. It seems like that's what they'll be committing to. But of course, they could still push in from storage if they want to as well, to not all funnel into entrance.
A very unusual choice for this push. Nothing wrong with it, but usually, like you said, people push in from either arcade or storage. I guess people can't bear the temptation of blowing an internal wall.
Yeah, it would cost the store owners a fortune, perhaps. Having that nade from last round, it's going to make their economy pretty light here, as they can still use this nade for the default barb. Looks like no one's ratting in that beer corner with a shotgun, so they get pretty quick access of storage, and they're using the wall to open into Teller, and King standing right behind it. This could be an easy kill for Nakadama if they just use the clacker, and perfect timing for Cats. You don't see that one every day. It almost was a double kill if they really knew about the info inside of Teller, but somehow Alan shoots through the Teller doorway with the tub, finding himself one, but the rest of Radis are falling apart brick by brick. Now in a 1 versus 3, Smitty catching rats off screen. That leaves only Fox stuck in the bathroom, and he kicks the door down in frustration. Sick and tired of this bathroom door swinging in his face. He'll look to maybe get aggressive, trying to find a 1-for-1, but Surfront is there to greet him with a couple of quick bullets. Nakadama now up by 2. And so far, I mean, they've really shown little to no struggle. I think the closest round so far was back on Bank, and even then it was a really comfortable 2 versus 1 for them.
They played it very well. Of course, the lucky breach charge kill helped, but yeah, no, they played it really proper. They seem to have relocated the clacker, kept that. One more grenade and one more door charge for the final map on attack.
They still have Torch as well. I think the next map is Factory. I could be wrong though. Usually it's good if you have Torch to either use it on like a fenced in area. You can use the Torch to destroy barred windows to sometimes avoid barbed wires, or you can also use the Torch to break the barbed wire. It's also something that can be used to destroy that piece of vital utility. But I was wrong, of course, as I always am. It's Kildome USA, my personal favorite map, and we got the new Kildome as well. I think this was made by... It was made by one of our top donors of the game, I think. And probably the most interesting thing about this map is that the typical green door where attackers can enter into the map for free without using any theoretical utility, that position is almost always beach on any Kildome you see in the game. This one is unique by having the green door all the way in the back of jungle. And my personal favorite way to attack this map specifically is to still go through that green door, as you can clear out jungle with a couple of flashes, maybe 1 frag grenade or the use of a torch, and then that gives you a pretty easy way to enter into castle, or at least fight those longer angles that castle players can have from the upper window position. You could still try to go for pit if you want to get a lights breach, but in this round, Nakadama are opting to door open base, as that is the fastest way of getting into castle if they can clear that green door, and they would also be pretty close to the bomb in theory. They would just have to run through the green door by pit, go through the gauntlet of the fire and flames, and then they can maybe get bomb access. But castle's the real power point here, and what most teams are looking forward to shutting down as an attacker.
It looks like the attackers are planning on going for the lights, which is a valid strategy since they all have night vision left. So this could be a Bravo going dark match.
And Kamina just pondering his thoughts in the truck. I've been there before, aka just getting some water mid-round. I think you were right, actually, that they changed their mind on the breach from base and they want to go pit. It's very hard to defend this position, and like you mentioned, if you get pit control, you can shut the lights off, which is sometimes advantageous for an attacking team. Now, with the button being across the map, that might force the drawbridge to remain shut unless somebody kicks it open, which some castles do in fact allow. So we'll see how that pans out. But in this round specifically, these long angles are going to benefit Radis. They've got 2 Ingmars, a mop, and a big AK. The only person playing with a short gun is Alan with the infamous economical weapon of the tub. But Harry Cactus already taking a load of damage here. He'll be forced to back away. He's on literally 1 HP, if not 10 health, as I think he took a gunfight with maybe someone with the black targeting 3 tap by Smitty as he's wielding that weapon. even 4 versus 4 position in theory, but Kamina has actually been left in the truck.
It looks its Kamina is DC'd or something.
What were you going
to
say,
make this siege that it looks like he or she is DC'd. This is going to make the siege at Castle a whole lot more difficult for the attacking team.
Ingmar rips apart 1. King forced on the reload. They still have the long-range weapons in play, which might be benefiting Radis, but they don't have anything to really force off someone on the bomb besides those weapons. They've got no mollies left, and unfortunately, they weren't looking at the right player. Smitty, the one gun up, baiting his teammate who was planting that bomb in a 1 versus 1 now. Allen with the Ingmar literally running at the guy, but he can't land a shot to save his life. Smitty having plenty of time, I thought, to defuse, but they're out of seconds. Not looking at the timer, the 6th enemy for the attack will give Radis their first round win and at least make it a 2-to-1 split, which isn't terrible, but usually that favors the defenders. Having Nakudama with 2 attacking rounds, then transitioning into their half with 6 defender rounds in a row, it's going to be a living nightmare, unless, of course, we're still on casual settings where they only get another 3 rounds. I'm not quite sure.
It says 4 out of 6, so we will, or 4 out of 5, so we will see how this plays out. We're back on bank.
For those
hopefully
unfamiliar,
Kamina is back.
That's good. I think we do have a pause in effect just to guarantee that they're officially back in the game and they're not still AFK, to keep it that consistent 5 versus 5. For those who don't know, in an unranked or a ranked game, those first 3 rounds of play, you either start as an attacker or defender, then you transition onto the opposite half. In ranked, of course, you will get to either attack for another 3 rounds or you will defend another 3 rounds, depending on which side you transition to after those first 3 rounds. And then rounds 1 through 6, they're all the same, like maps specifically. So the bank that we saw in round number 1, it's the exact same bank on round number 4. You're just on opposite sides, either attacking or defending it. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see a similar play style for that server entrance rush that we had Nakudama do. That went pretty well for them. In terms of blowing Hall, it's not bad on paper, but you just don't get a lot of good map control for it, and you're a lot more divided from your entrance players. So if you want to do a split take, it's a lot more challenging. So not really sure if we'll see that, to be honest with you, Troy.
Yeah, looking forward to this strategy. I'm always a big fan of just blowing entrance, gives you good access to all the other map parts. Going servers is risky because the defenders can really hold that down with an auto shotgun. But we'll see. We'll see what they go for. It has worked on the first map.
True. I'm trying to think about what else we saw for that C store. It was that wall charge, which typically you use into bathroom just to get quick access to the bomb. Instead, we had it blown up into Teller, which is usually one of the more challenging parts of the map to clear out. And that rush going in from storage actually worked like a charm. It kind of caught me off guard for a second there. It clearly caught Radis off guard as well. So that'd be really funny to see implemented for a second time in a row, but it seems a little more unorthodox, to be honest. But I think the most complex round to probably try and attack for Radis now that they've switched sides is going to be that kill dome. So if we get to that final round, going back to the 6th one, that could be something more interesting to dive into. But I think we're still just waiting a little bit longer to get Kamina back in the game, or maybe we're actually fixing the lobby itself and we are going to have it in a proper ranked match. So we get 7 rounds that'll be required to win before moving into round number 2. But so far, we're waiting on confirmation on that.
Definitely. I wonder if the Kamina disconnect has something to do with the long distance that these 2 teams are from each other. Definitely has some impact on the play, of course, but they seem to be doing just fine.
I'm honestly shocked that we've seen a lot of newer maps so far for this first best of 1 series. Again, I think map number 1 was only a couple of weeks old. I remember like seeing it being made by Tetra, I think, on one of his streams for Due Process, which is also a really cool thing. Our developers are extremely active in the game, And usually they are willing to answer questions in one of their millions of streams that they do throughout the week, where they're either creating maps, they're playing different game modes that this game provides, as we also have a couple of more TDM-styled game modes that are in the works currently, or ranked, if you're like me and you just love the competitive side of Due Process, where yes, you get a lot of run and gun moments, but also the tactical aspect of planning what you want to do with your teammates and communicating your way to success is the big eye grabber, especially with the procedurally generated maps. As we both talked about, some of these maps are fairly new, not giving players a lot of time to really prep to see what's the quote-unquote meta way of attacking or defending certain objectives, like the bomb here for this bank stuck in vault.
It looks like the attackers are gonna blow the red door into Hall, but the defenders are actually just gonna give that up and defend more inwards towards vault.
I think you're right, as only one person's playing by Teller. I think that's Mackie right now with the Gruber. Again, these longer lines of sight, they're very favorable for the attackers, so I think it is the right call just to kind of let them take into that space, fight a little more close quarters with Nakodama's higher fire rate weapons. They have 4 Grubers on the board and a big AK wielded by Smitty. I don't think I've seen all 4 Grubers picked in an extremely long time, but the flash goes out, allowing Allen to make some space. Harry Cactus pushes in as well, and that's Mackie shut down, really only isolated player. But as Nakodama tried to maybe refrag, trade his fallen teammate, Allen is prepared with the DL, getting rid of Smitty, and now they see someone stuck inside a security room as well, which they'll throw a flash to try to clear him out. Surfront, basically a dead man walking. He throws the molly, trying to give himself some time to breathe against that flash, but Allen racks up a triple kill before that can happen. Surfront, the only person to have a response here for Radis, and Allen with his 4th kill will close out the round as Harry Cactus gets the final kill. An extremely fast double take there by Radis, and I'm surprised how well that Hall push worked on top of Allen's shotgun rush.
A very efficient round in resources as well. They only took their main weapons, sidearms, which the attackers get plenty of, and 4 flashbangs with their wall charge. So they've got plenty left for the next 2 rounds, which I'm wondering what they're planning. They're taking the fire extinguisher, which is a makeshift smoke bomb. Interesting. Shotgun, yes, I agree.
I said, did Allen write that one? It wouldn't honestly shock me if we had an Allen drawing that. Huge W for him collecting that 4K and denying a lot of the trade potential that Nakodama were looking for in that round. You clearly saw people like Smitty trying to get aggressive, you know, helping their teammates, but it seemed like Nakodama were just way too isolated to really play off of each other. You know, they had one person alone in Teller. With that Hall blow happening, they couldn't fall back from the entrance players. They were just kind of a sitting duck, hoping to get 1 kill, then eventually dying, but that didn't happen. They just off the rip got shotgunned to the face. And then as Smitty tried walking up to alleviate that pressure, he also died. And then you have Surfront who's stuck in security. There's no like metal flap to play in that position properly. And there's also no fall off point in security. So that is just, it's a really tough spot to defend, to be quite honest. Yes, it gives you good info, but you can't really play off of that without a teammate's help. And again, Nakodama just didn't have the right team play in that round since they lost a lot of 1v1 gunfights. But they go on C-Store. This map is a lot more defender favored compared to that bank. So hopefully they have a little more success this time.
Defender favored, well, I tend to disagree with that. I've been plenty of times where they just secure storage, don't let anybody push into Teller, and then blow into bathroom and just hold that. That seems like that's the plan right now, unless they might blow into Teller again from storage, which we'll see if that works a second time. Anyway, it is bound to be an interesting match. Or are they going entrance, which would open up some long sidelines into arcade and seeing the rotation pass through bathroom.
It all depends on, again, the dealer's choice. They have Torch, so going in through entrance seems like plausible, getting an angle from there. They have Patman on the Saber. Maybe he can deal some damage. And I guess that's a fair point, saying that this map also can be very attacker-sided just because of how small it is. Only big thing to worry about, obviously, is that Nakudama, they have power weapons. You know, the auto shotgun, it's really good on this map. You normally don't bring the auto on Kill Dome. They know that's the next round in play, so that allows them to bring out this powerful shotgun that can just shred through attacker health if they get a little too close for comfort. But Alan, he's more than comfortable with dealing with that fact. He's got the DL looking to maybe do some damage early, and he just sniped Surfront. Jesus. I was not expecting him to be that successful, and no one is turning around to look at the guy with the shotgun. Hello? Where's the communication? They just were not prepared for Alan barging in. I think eventually he isn't dealt with, but the attack or the defenders can at least fall back a little bit to alleviate that pain. Patman gives info that there's at least someone between Arcade and Freezer, as Alan now has Teller control. He might try to work his way into the bomb to start sticking that defuse. Since they have the man advantage, they could commit someone to playing on that bomb while the rest of his teammates cover him from a safe distance. And yeah, both defenders are off the bomb site. Cats tries to swing in, but there's the auto shotgun that we highlighted being a potential menace. But it's only going to get one. The rest of Nakudama falling apart. Radis take the lead.
It is a close game, this one. The scores are 2-3. 2 for Nakudama, 3 for Ratus. Very exciting push into entrance. They clearly did not expect that. Definitely not with shotgun rushing in close to Teller. Very well played.
Moving back now into Kill Dome, another thing to highlight as well is that, you know, Radis not only kept their Saber from last round, but they also have the big AK. So some of those longer range guns the defenders were using back when Radis were defending, they're not going to be there in play. I think because Nakudama brought only Gruber's round number 1 and they didn't have any Ingmars there, they can bring both of those long range guns. They still have Mop as well, so it's not the end of the world. When it comes to defending Castle, it's still going to be really strong for Nakudama's defense, but Radis also have plenty of smokes, and I think they want to blow open base just to get fast entry into the building and then just start throwing out smokes into Castle just to blind off those sight lines. That is an incredibly funny strat, but I kind of hope it works. I would love to see this execute plan out well.
The downside of smoking Castle is that the defenders technically still do have eyes on bomb and can just blind fire bomb when defusing, since this bomb is wall bangable. So looking at the nades and, well, knowing the attackers, they might even try to take Castle by brute force.
I mean, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You've got Alan, who's been on shotgun almost every round, but I think he's out of DLs now because he's died both round 1 and 2. So looks like he is forced on AP duty. I think the world just cried out in Alan's name. But seems like for Nakudama, I'm not sure. They're defending beach proper as if they were the ones attacking. This is one of the rare Kill Dome sets where you can actually play on the beach as a defender and it be actually intended for the game. But in the meantime, we'll kick back into what's actually going on in the execute phase. A nade tossed out and boom, it explodes up in Cat's face. That's going to be a good way to start this round out for Radis, but they end up getting traded back in these long-range gunfights, favoring the defense despite the smokes. Ends up favoring the defense, still holding down on Castle. Some of the windows have been left unsmoked. It looks like a couple of them have missed, giving the opportunity for Nakudama to hide in plain sight and still keep this Castle control, which watches firmly over the bomb. Patman will trade, though, as I believe one of the Nakudama defenders tries picking up the NVGs, but that's going to be the worst timing possible to go for that. 50 seconds left. Time was the big issue last time when Nakudama was attacking the same map, but it looks like there's already bomb control for Radis. They're just worried about when they stick this defuse, Nakudama will spring up on the retake, and there it goes. Perfect timing for Nakudama as they get 2, leaving only Harry Cactus stuck behind the drawbridge, looking to maybe get this 1 versus 3, but they're low on health, and Nakudama aren't peeking him. They're waiting for him to stick on that bomb, putting him gunned down, and basically committing this round to go 3-3, tying us between Nakudama and Radis. And there it is. The series closed out in a quick old-fashioned tie game. But again, I think the first match was supposed to start with rank settings. So we might have another game played quickly after this one. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, us and the viewers will figure it out at the exact same time, I suppose.
Very exciting, very close games. Pleased to see it, yeah. Definitely.
I think we had the exact same scoreline too on both quarters for each team. They won 2-1 on their attacks, both them having really good shotgun plays on that bank, funnily enough. Both maps as well, I think, having some sort of like funny wall charge that got them quick map control. And then you had Kildome, which was impenetrable for that castle. At least they both pushed in between like base and pit. They got that half of the map cleared out, but then just couldn't find a way to mesh their attack together to actually clear out those castle power spots, making the bomb basically undefusable. But you know, overall, I gotta say I'm pretty happy with the outcome of our first ever official Due Process preseason game.
It was definitely exciting. Very pleased to see it. Very beautiful plays, great plays made, beautiful shotgun plays, a 4K even. And yeah, that final map, it is, I saw it for the first time yesterday, and like my first reaction was to it, oh god, oh, what's this? It seems very difficult for the attackers to push in. They really need to clear out that castle before they can even start thinking about defusing that bomb. So yeah, definitely exciting.
I think again, the only way I've really seen a team like fully clear out castle is just like full dive bombing the green door, excuse me, by the back of jungle. Honestly, I save a nade sometimes for castle, and I think Radis did that too, which is what got them their initial entry, but that didn't make enough space for them to also then push from base into the castle properly. So it just left them a lot of headaches. Once the lights got turned off, they're like, you know, where the hell are these guys castle? What do we do? Where are we peeking? And those smokes, some of them hit on the mark, some of them missed, but at the end of the day, it took more than 30 seconds to get that bomb pressure. So all of them faded away, still making castle that underlying powerhouse. I feel like it would have been a better call for either Nakudama and or Radis on their attacks, just to commit to clearing castle. And if you lose that round, so be it. But if you end up winning and getting castle control, then you have free access to the bomb. There's really nothing else stopping you there. So maybe when this map has some more playtime, more eyes to watch it and cook up strategies, maybe it'll be a little more attacker favored. But like you mentioned, that castle is just it's an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah, they also seem to have not went for the lights at all. Pit was pretty much clear. They had night vision, but they decided to do it in broad daylight, which, with that range going on and the defenders having very little way of seeing in the dark, might have been the better play. They still have their saber as well.
That's true, yeah. The lights did go off at some point, so I think maybe they had someone rotate to pit, unless I don't know, maybe I'm like blind or something, but I'm pretty sure I saw the lights turned out there for a good chunk of time, but that wasn't like the main prerogative of the attackers. There is actually one Kildome where lights are like stuck in this really powerful obs, but there's like no way to get in there, so it's like, what's the point of hitting the lights? And we might get that Kildome. It'd be really funny to commentate over that. I've played it in a couple of scrims. I don't remember the name of it specifically, since every map and different tile set has like a unique operation name, you know, Operation like Typhoon Sun or something like that. I think that's actually a name of one of the maps. I just don't remember which one, but I'm sure Tetra will know if I were to ask him. But like I mentioned, I got confirmation that the new match is starting up that will hopefully have the proper round count, or because it's like or because we had each team win 3 rounds back to back, we might just have another casual game and it's just like first of 4 rounds wins, I guess. Either way, it'll be 7 rounds maximum for a team to get out of round number 1. We just had a small bug before queuing that first game, unfortunately.
Yeah, interested to see. Oh, there we go. And it's another small unranked match, which means best of 7. Right?
Yeah. So going into this kill house, I played this a couple of times. Backstage is usually a big point of interest. If you are gonna blow that red door in hall, you have to worry about that elevated angle. by the back of hallway near those yellow bricks. And that also can be a really annoying spot to clear out as an attacker. A defender can just walk up that ramp and shoot you, and you can't really contest that properly. I don't think I've seen teams really blow open lockers, as you can get control of that from backstage most of the time, but it is always something to look at. I think what the attackers are looking to do is wall into club to, again, kind of ignore most of hallway and try to get bomb control fast, and also use either a torch or a door charge into backstage to break some of those window bars.
It seems like a solid plan, definitely. The attackers do need to clear out the raised area in club, where the defenders like to hold out behind sandbags on an elevated position. But they seem to have accounted for all of it. So let's see how it plays out.
This just in, my wife's team is winning her game. They are up 4-2. This is very awesome development. That is the other best of one happening. It's the third team versus, I can't remember. I need to go look. Hold on. Since we got a little bit of downtime. It's against Dread's team. I also think I know Dreadio. Shouts to him. Played a couple games with him. That guy's pretty good at the game. But he's also one of those new players from the $100 update of the game from Steam. But here comes that free take. Torch goes off. Flash to follow suit almost immediately here for Radis, and another kill erupts for the attack. They just barge their way into backstage, and it works perfectly. I mean, great job establishing that early pressure by backstage. Good job playing off your teammates' flashes to take that space without giving Nakudama a chance to readjust, and good job playing together for those consistent trades. And they almost end the round flawlessly as well, only having Cats getting a kill onto King, but at that point, it really just isn't that big of a deal for Radis. I think all they need to do now is just collect the clacker and kind of move on from there, but perfect opening round for map 2.
Very well played. They usually say that when actually attacking, all plans go out of the window, but they seem to have perfectly predicted what they wanted this time, and it worked out beautifully.
I think, honestly, Nakudama were kind of caught off guard from the wall charge. They're like, oh my god, we can't just all look at the window. We need to try to find a way to push back. But the second the wall opened up, they had a flash come in, and despite there being one barbed wire, they were able to avoid it pretty quickly by either like jumping or just running around it fast enough. It wasn't really for the staircase. It was more so for the locker's doorway, but that wasn't the point of contention, obviously, for Radis in that round. But either way, they won't scoff at that straightforward win. We go on to Factory. Ares Nimrod, I think it is. I can't see it that well because it is Nimrod. Okay. I'm on OBS Ninja, and every time I highlight over the video, it moves in front of the operation name. So I'm being a little stupid right now. But anyways, this factory is extremely bright. So when you turn off the lights, it doesn't really do a lot for the team. So we might see storage control for Radis, but if the lights are turned off, it's not that like oppressive against Nakudama. So if they want to bring a flare, they can. If not, isn't really a huge deal in the world. For Radis, they want to use a smoke here in a server farm to push into storage room a little bit, and maybe try to get in through storage despite there being a barb at that choke point. Oh, no, they don't. They exit out. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah, very interesting to see what the attackers are going to do. They seem to be ignoring the fan, which usually provides a really good vantage point for the sniper rifle, but on this particular map, the catwalk just goes straight up to the fan, which makes you very vulnerable for defenders with shotguns and SMGs. They still peek it.
Wow, 3 flashes for server room. That's quite a lot of utility without really anything to gain from it. That's a bit concerning for Radis. They've got that barb now challenging them from this choke point door, and again, no one by fan right now, so they just kind of have to look at, never mind, okay. They had to look at Office and the other crossfire from the railing, but King just wins that duel head on against Kamina. They could shoot the fan and have someone rotate there if they want to, but it looks like they're actually repositioning and going in through storage, which is what they crossed out originally. They've got this head glitch to worry about. That's a nice shot there by Smitty, catching one from the earlier green door by fan and that one they just saw. And the reason why they probably did not want to push through this barbed wire into storage is the crossfire that Nakudama had, making this a a pretty blunt round. It is a nice little bite back against Radis.
Definitely. Pushing towards that light switch was a risky play, as it is quite expected. And the barbed wire basically stopped their entire push since they used a grenade on another part of the map. But that does make it 4-4.
I think you made a really good point there earlier, Troy, about the emphasis of Saber on factories, especially by Fan, or at least having somebody on Fan, not necessarily using a Saber. That, you know, having someone there gets you a lot of good sight lines. And maybe if Radis had someone playing there, it could have made pushing out into that Fan/office area a little bit easier, but I digress. We move into Singular Pig now for another Kildome map. The interesting thing about this is that when you hit the breaker box, when you turn the lights off, that not only obviously turns things into dark mode, but that also, it gets rid of the power on the map too, which the button is an object affected by power. So the reason why Radis want to use this blowtorch on the castle drawbridge is they're anticipating Nakudama of knowing that the power will be effective with that button, and they can turn off the lights to stop the drawbridge from being opened up. That's a really smart play by Radis.
They seem to want to use the Saber sniper rifle. I combined Saber and sniper, that word. On this map for the long sidelines into jungle, but they do need to worry about the one person hiding up in castle who has a sideline at the attacker's sniper.
I guess the idea is to get the Saber out of beach and then have that really long angle from base looking at the upper ruins position by jungle. Not a bad idea in theory, but again, you also have to clear out of beach, which almost everybody on Nakudama is kind of prepared for, except some people watching the pit red door, which Alan is sitting here waiting to blow it open late, and he has a shotgun too, so maybe he'll opt to rush in through castle to help alleviate that pressure. Maybe he'll run in through upper ruins, but damn, that was a devastating molly. That brought Fox down to literally like 14 health in this round. He is extremely low on HP, and I think King as well got injured by it too, and having no utility like a flash or a smoke, it's going to be free range for Kamina just to sit on this window and watch the drawbridge, but the Saber ends up equalizing. Nice shot there by Patman, clearing out one player from castle. Allen as well, I think, beginning to step his way into the building or just waiting on his teammates to comet. They've got the blowtorch going on, but I mean, they could just hit the button if they wanted to. I mean, the power's still on, so maybe a little bit questionable there, using away the torch's resource and wasting a hell of a lot of time. They don't have a nade for this bar, but that is a good flash to try to push out Surfront. The molly, though, will provide him some more time in this round, as we've got only 40 seconds left for Radis to try to get on that bomb and defuse it. They're all very low in HP besides Harry Cactus. And Cats, he still has castle control. Surfront as well, playing underneath the well on a head glitch, pops up and collects a double kill for himself with that Gruber. And now Patman is just out in the middle of nowhere by base, wondering what just happened to his teammates. Well, I'll tell you, it was castle domination for Nakudama is what ended up making his team fall apart. Having really no utility to get into castle just made them sitting ducks on beach.
Yeah, definitely. That castle take was mandatory for their success, and sadly they couldn't get the breaker nor castle. The Saber was already in the trenches. Usually you would, well, in this scenario, you would back out with the Saber, save it for the last round, but that wasn't a possibility, sadly.
Order switching, we are now back on the same kill, or not kill dome, the same kill house that we saw back in round number 1. Nakudama now get the chance to maybe alleviate the issues that they had whilst defending and get some sweet revenge trying to attack here. You've got a barbed wire here for backstage. You've got one barb as well in hall. If they don't blow that red door, maybe playing in hall could be a little bit more favorable for the defense.
These barbed wires are very interesting. Usually you would place them in such a way that they like go through the doorway, you know, so there's a bit of barbed wire on both sides of the door. They seem to be opting for a different strategy. Do you know why they're doing this?
I think it just makes it easier to keep the barb intact. You know, if you throw a grenade, obviously, if you throw it with a door closed, if the barb's clipping out, it'll be destroyed. It also makes it easier to torch. So a lot of teams are actually preferring to have the barbed wire sticking away from the door. That way, it's just harder to blow it up. You know, if they're kicking the door, that gives you a chance to get a free kill. It gives you a chance to still utilize that barbed wire. And I think just the only reason why they have it like that for backstage is just because they don't want a team to rush in from backstage if they torch open that window and then like run up the staircase the same way that Radis did actually when that barbed wire was placed a little bit closer up. But you know, occasionally you'll still see that horizontal barbed wire where it is sticking out of a door. It's just a lot less common than what you'd probably see back when, you know, I was playing the game in like 2022, for example. But regardless, going back into the round in play on the Falcon map, you've got Surfront here getting ready to barb or kick open this door, or torch it, sorry. They've got the other door kicked right beside him, so he might not need to torch it if need be. The flash goes out, but they only now spark the barbed wire. They've got a nade for that, but of course it did waste a bit of utility. It gives time for Radis to react, and in fact, they do catch one by surprise. That's Harry Cactus with the entry, Allen to follow suit. They've got a 5 versus 3 now, and Allen, the opportunity to maybe flank in through this locker's doorway, but he'll wait patiently. He's given up his position and intentions. So Nakudama, they might get distracted later on by pushing up in through backstage, giving a chance for Allen to flank, but Harry Cactus going 1-for-1. Mackie still watching that flank. Good discipline to now equalize us in a 3 versus 3 as another flash falls out, but King isn't blinded, just only stunned, and the Nak 11 tears through him as they don't get backstage control, but Smitty is on the lurk and out of bullets, but the final shot will ring out, connecting on the head of Patman. Plenty of time left to defuse. Nakudama, match point now.
Absolutely beautifully played. Maybe Smitty should have aimed a bit earlier, but he caught on. Beautiful. 3 bullets left. That's what you call close tie. Or win. Close win.
A close call indeed for Nakudama. Yeah, I was a little worried there when King like didn't get flashed and just ran at Mackie and Surfront, just spraying them with the Nak. Although most players, you know, on paper think, oh, the Nak is just a really good close quarters gun. A lot of people actually use it just to wall bang through soft walls, especially on a map like Kill House. It's got some of the highest wall bang damage in the game for any gun besides like the Dawn and maybe the Legros, I think. So having one of the fastest fire rate guns in the game shoot through a wall in through like a barbed wire, for example, is a really powerful way of doing damage and forcing someone out of a room, basically. But in that instance, you know, Old Reliable just face checking somebody and letting that gun sing. It almost made it enough to where Radis would tie us going into round number 5, but Nakudama are just 1 round away from winning this unofficial best of 1, since it is technically 2 maps played back to back because we had some technical issues. But regardless of that, they seem to be in good shape of beating the Aussies and sending them out of our 5 versus 5 preseason tournament. But we did see them come back from a 2-1 split. I wouldn't be shocked if Radis still keep this close.
It's definitely a close one. They're gonna fortify storage exactly the same as the defenders did the first time on this map. But the attackers seem to split push with 3 people going server farm and 2 going dogs, I presume. I can't exactly see. I don't think they have a wall. No, they do have a wall charge left. They seem to be wanting to wall charge into conveyor from the catwalk.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that ever done before. That's really interesting. I guess maybe the idea is to not like get stuck on that green door where there was a barb last time.
Definitely a good play. Like you said before as well, this map is quite bright even though the lights are turned off, so the breaker probably isn't a priority target even if it does shut off the fans.
See how this free take pans out now for Nakudama. They're the ones in the lead by 2 rounds, 1 more in a row, and they will be the first to get out of their round 1 bracket, moving into the second one against Q Process, I think. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It's the other team they'll be facing off against. I'll confirm that after the series, of course. I don't want to get sidetracked in the midst of an action phase. But the wall goes off. A bit of shock goes in from Radis. They've got no idea what's happening, and Smitty is still on the green door watching it. Cat's in him as well. spark up for a kill of their own. They've got an early 5 versus 3 lead and a fast push in through Office as well. They've got so much map control. Smitty and Mackie now another as well, leaving only Patman to defend. And just like that, it was a close first map, but moving on a new server and a new series of maps, Nakudama make it an easy 4-1 victory, moving out of round number 1 and facing off against Arise in their round 2 best of 1 series. Q Process as well, I think they're still waiting to see if they'll face off against Team Dread or the third team, but so far, again, an extremely exciting game between Radis and Nakudama. It's a shame that we had to see one of those teams say goodbye today.
Very beautiful plays, especially by the attacker team on that last round. The wall charge on that unusual, well, we might say unusual spot really played out for them. Didn't go for the lights. Completely caught the defender team off guard.
Say now going into the round number 2, obviously, Troy, where we have almost every team ready for that at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is also, funnily enough, in 5 minutes. Are there any teams in particular that you're interested in seeing?
Ooh. I need you to give me 1 second then.
All good, all good. I'm actually going to go look and see. Whereas now it is 6-4. My wife's team is 1 round away from winning, and hopefully I don't give them a caster's curse, because that does affect other games that you're not talking about. My wife also mentioned that I gave him the caster curse, so that's pretty funny. We're arm's length away, so if I'm a little too loud, she'll hear me. If she's a little too loud, they'll hear me. But luckily, my wife is as quiet as a mouse, so that rarely happens, unless I mention burgers that have nothing in them. She gets very mad about nothing burgers.
Yeah, you asked me which teams I'm looking forward to in round 2. Yeah, there are quite a few interesting ones. For example, Last Minute, which is funny because they were made last minute. Quite interesting. Otherwise, Arise is definitely one that stands out. Great players. We see Sigalo, Lacking, Brody, Juker. Definitely names you've seen before. Definitely dangerous people in due process. Yeah. Integrity, also very interesting.
So I think that most of Arise have either like previously won Due Process League, or they've come close to winning / have been on decent teams in the past. I think in the community, they've been known as like a team that is probably one of the better looking ones as of right now for the preseason, until more teams obviously get made. So I'm sure that'll be a really fun match to watch in the future if they get out of round 2, obviously, knock on wood for them. But the rest of round number 2 as well, they've got some other decent teams. Frogs, for example, that's an extremely old name. That's a pro league team that I've seen since 2022. Yakuza as well, very old team. And also a newer addition, Cream Dream, who has this guy called Cream Pod, who I always get in my ranked games. So I wish him the best of luck. And it's official. The third team has won their series against Team Dread. So they will also advance into round number 2, winning, I think, 7-5 in their best of 1 is what I saw on her screen. But with that being said, we'll get the rest of round number 2 up and ready. And as that happens, we'll throw it to a quick break and return with a new pair of casters and a new set of games.
Hello everyone, welcome back from since a long time gone to DPL. I am SickGamer01. I'm going to be your action caster today, and today I'm joined by Nog here. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Nog. I like to play this video game.
I'd hope so. Enough to talk about it at least. Yes, hello everyone.
Oh yeah.
So today, for those who are interested in this game, obviously it is due process. There is a nice little theme link. You can go check that out. But yeah, there we go. There it is.
Available now. Yeah, check us out on Steam. Due process. The stream is there too. So you know, while you're buying the game, you can just tune in.
You can get us in stereo, both sides. There you go.
True. Stereo. Oh. So beautiful. Such a beautiful UI on this stream already.
Yes. But so it seems like what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be looking at the, let's see the exact names, is the Frogs versus Ozpuz, I think is the teams. I'm difficulty guessing how to say that name, but there we go. I think that's what we're going to be doing. Do you have any thoughts on these teams, Nog?
Yeah, I certainly have a lot of thoughts on Frogs here because this is my team that I was going to be playing on this stream. But you know, I'm here instead, but they still got quite a nice lineup. And Ozpuz, I don't know too much about these players.
I apologize to Frogs who may have stole you for today, but you know what? At least
no,
hear them out from here.
It's just fine.
Yeah, there's a few names on here that I do recognize.
Yeah. Sorry, I just fixed some settings real quick. But yeah, Dynamic, Stormir, the disciple of Control, Elite, of course, Australian Shotgunner. We got Brock, the ultimate Sleep. Index, of course, the greatest player of all time, without question. And Ethan the Viking, a newer player to the Frogs lineup. I think they literally just joined today so they could play. I haven't seen too much of their gameplay, but I've heard that they're pretty decent for the 45, I believe, so games they have played. For the side of Ozpuz, I don't have too much information on them, but I'm excited to see how they do against this Frogs lineup, because there are a lot of known names on this Frogs team, so we'll get a good idea of how well these Ozpuz players play together against this Frog roster.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just happy to see more Frogs. I have personal biases myself with Sleep, one of the friends I hang out with every now and then.
Yeah, certainly some bias casting coming up. Lots of glazing.
It'll be all right. So, are we ready for the actual match yet? Oh, yep, we're going. All right.
Ooh, nice. Here we are. Loading in a game now. Brilliant. We are on this Union Twilight map. A button in servers to open the vault here on the south side of the map. I do like this red door towards the south side of the map. Into that hall, it allows access to lots of vault control, and there are 2 doorway entrances into the accounting, so pushing it from that direction isn't too much of a funnel. And regardless of where you go to get into that servers, it is kind of a funnel either way. So getting space on the bomb, on that vault, should be a nice line, I think, from that red door towards the south side of the map. I didn't get too long of a look at the map here, but I think the defenders were focusing more on the servers than anything. They were kind of had a lot of their stuff drawn out there and things like that. So
yeah, I think I saw a few of those barbs getting planned there. We'll see how that particularly works out for them.
Jumping back in, we got a nice tic-tac-toe game going there. O's win, very easy for them. Yeah, it does look like most of the defenders' drawings is around this server side. They're going to be playing 2 in accounting, 1 in servers, it seems, and then maybe 1 that is rotating manager security area based on the lines there. Frogs don't want to work on lobby. They don't want to work on manager. It does seem like they're going to that red door. Like I was saying, I prefer that entrance to this map in a lot of cases. The green can be pretty nice to kind of shut down some re-entries into that hallway later in the round, into that server, to kind of get some damage down and picks on the attackers while they're pushing. But taking this loans, obviously defenders have no one marked as playing there, so it'll be pretty easy. They won't even need to use that flash. I'm hoping Frogs kind of take a look and see if they need both flashes for the loans hall position before pushing in. But it does look like there will be a guy in bathroom perhaps or something on the defender side. Wrapping up the planning phase now. Yeah, it's just going to be, seems like it's just going to be that push I was talking about through the loans, 2 doors into accounting, getting up to that button, pressing it, and then having that vault space already in control for the attacker side for the Frogs, so that they can just push right in and start defusing right away. We go down into execute phase as they get this charge down on that red door.
All right, yeah, and a few seconds there, we're gonna see that go. Yep, charge goes out, flashes go out, we see them start pushing in. Immediately one of them gets taken down. Stormer, I think, is taken down there, and the little loans push there. You're gonna see, yeah, they're gonna be holding out a little bit in that loans, trying to get into that manager. A few shots are gonna be shotting between. I think taking a little bit of damage on both sides. I think they managed to get one on the opposites there. Another one goes down as the Frogs do manage to get into that that manager there. Pushing through. We see those mollies going out. Lots of fire getting exchanged. There, it seems like Opsides is holding a little bit. They are very much down some players here. They have 3 left, but managed to get a nice takes 2 there, taking out both Brock and also Index. And we're gonna see just runs in on that flash. Takes out we see Evan go down there. We're gonna see a little bit of retaliation with Dynamic coming through, trying to avenge them. A little bit of 1v1 fight, and Dynamic is gonna get it, and this round should go to Frogs.
Yeah, that was what did they call him at the end there by Dynamic, getting a 4K even in this first round, playing off of her teammates very well. Baiting Index. Wow, look at all those barbs down on the vault. They didn't even really get to use that to prevent a push in there, as they all kind of died in accounting. I think there were a couple fumbled flashes on the side of the attackers, but they just won their gunfights. They out-aimed Ozpooz there. And the trade, the initial opening kill that Ozpooz got on Stormare was very good, but Index and Dynamic able to trade back 2 pretty quickly, evened it out and put them in a health advantage towards the middle of that round, and they were able to just use that advantage to close it out, get the defuse there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was getting a little close there. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it certainly was. There was the spray down. I don't remember who it was, but there was a spray down onto 2, getting Broccoli, and then also Index, who had very low HP. Putting it into that 1v1 scenario was quite scary for Frogs for a second there, or maybe it was even 2v1 at that point, but Dynamic did close it out. Very nice. We go now to Trumpet Prometheus, a C store here. Bomb kind of central storefront with good cover on both sides. There's that sort of short deli counter to the right of that bomb there that can be used as sort of a head glitch to watch entrance on a very tight angle. I agree that Freezer is not a great push from the start. It's a little bit difficult to get out, especially from all of the head glitches and angles you can get from storefront onto that freezer, and then the bathroom teller doors as well to protect bomb. So yes, and it looks like defenders do seem to be reading this play by, well, at least the attackers have it circled. Yeah, there goes the charge ping. It does look like they want to flogle this low on arcade door to try and slow down their push. They have a grenade marked on the green door going into teller, so maybe they will be pushing for button or just trying to take that teller space. This arcade has lots of cover for the defenders to play around, but also can very easily be flashed. So if the attackers decide not to use their grenade on that flogel that hopefully is successful for the defenders, it's going to be a much more difficult time pushing into this room, especially against maybe shotgun or just auto shotty and shotgun there if the defenders really wanted to load up on there. But there will be no auto shotty coming down. We got a Knack, an Ingmar, we got the little AK. I think there's a Gruber SD in play as well. Yeah. And then just the shotgun, like I said, playing up in that arcade. We're going now into execute. Let's see how if frogs decide to pivot to blowing up this flogel that is going down here. We'll see how that goes for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're seeing them all get set up ready on that arcade. We do just see that one just general sitting in there waiting. I think they're going to try and take this a little bit slow. Do you think they see...
Ooh, it looks like they might not have taken a charge, actually.
I thought they did. It seemed like they put something down. But yeah, they're just pushing into that green instead. There we go. I see a lot of shots.
I think they might have grabbed Clack and dropped it down, but they didn't have good kill.
They might have, but they're pushing into bathroom, pushing into teller there. Gonna get that. I think it's General who's stuck in the arcade, but we do see one go down. One of the frogs go down in freezer. He's been running out of arcade. I think that was the shotty there, just taking out that teller push a little bit, running back to arcade. We see some teller fire there. We're gonna see, yeah, they're really holding that arcade pretty well, trying to make sure they don't get it, which I'm kind of surprised because I feel like they could just get into that bomb on the other side, but it is currently like 2v4, so frogs are a little shaken here. I feel like their push got I think that not having that charge really did defuse this by accident.
Yeah, there are two defenders who are pretty low here, so it is still very reasonable for the... Oh yeah, one even going down. Just down to Ethan now, the newer player on frogs.
Yeah, it's gonna see...
He does have the ability to win this, considering the health of the defenders here.
Go. We see flashes going out, trying to see what he can use. Yeah, running by, but yeah, that's not going to go well. The round is going to go to Ops's.
Yeah, that shotgun player in the teller there forced Ethan to kind of move into the line of fire of that long-range Ingmar, and he did not see him fast enough to get the first shots down, and he just got taken out moving into storefront, trying to reposition. Misplay from frogs, not bringing the charge, having to pivot pretty heavily in their plan.
Oh, that's a classic DP story, as old as time. Someone forgets the charge.
Okay, they figured it out. They got it to work on the defender side. Taking advantage of that misplay from frogs. Now on to Sun Dragoon. Wall charge immediately being placed on the dock here, which doesn't have too many angles for you to or too many places for you to get cover from all of the angles that can be acquired, like some from Silo. There's the ramp on the south side of the map that leads up to dock that you can kind of get a little head glitch on. The office door has a good position, and standing outside of the office window as well can be a great way to get an angle on this dock. I guess those boxes there on the dock are some cover. I didn't notice those right away, but still, that is all there really is. Dock push. It seems like a different line has been drawn. Oh, we got a double charge coming out. I guess they did forget the charge last round.
Well, they forgot last time, so they get to use it now.
Yeah, so they'll have. I like that wall charge to avoid having to kick that green door or bring a shotgun or a torch to deal with it. And they do have power circles, so they'll probably be going for that. nice to see them bringing the charge. We see that in the inventory of the Frogs already now.
Not going to forget that for the rest of the game.
No, I'm sure they won't. It looks like the path that the Frogs kind of intend to take with this wall charge will help them avoid every barbed wire that they can. And this barbed wire on the storage door, that blue door there, is going to prevent the defenders from actually being able to rotate and flank really easily. Hard pivot suddenly. They're going to do a split storage.
That might have been an accident. We love seeing that.
Maybe a little bit of indecision even on the side of Frogs here, as they're not entirely sure what to go with, but the 5 is drawn there on the map, so they're going to just do a full push as we go now into execution. Hopefully this double charge works out. We'll see how the defenders barb on that storage door plays against them, because I think it will be something that they have to with.
Yeah, we see charge go down.
The blown out.
And there we go. All right, we see immediately a Molly's going to go out, but Sleep is going to run right through it. Is pushing through. I think we do see one of the Ozpus is watching that door from that barbed bit in servers, I think. Yep, and Evan immediately actually taking out that little peek they had. So that's gonna make them, power is gonna be super easy to take, and they get it immediately. They're shooting out the lights too. They're really playing for this power play. So that wall charge getting ready. I don't think that's close enough to them, no, but it will probably. I don't think that guy is particularly ready for it. We're gonna see a push in. Trying to keep their head low from the, I think from Perceive Mop there. I think we do see. There we go. We do see some shots get exchanged there. A few people going down. It's not looking too good for Ozpus. They are 2 people. Oh well, 1 person left. As we see 3 Frogs. Just hiding. But is gonna get a nice little peek on Evan. Gonna take him out. Is gonna have to rotate, or else they definitely know where he is now. But they're gonna take another shots. But is gonna go down, and the round will go to Frogs.
Nice. Well played there. Good gunfights and recovery. There was that initial pick that Ozpus did get onto Index at the start of the round, but a trade back from Ethan, a nice saber shot, and then Broccoli with some clean black tar shots as well, able to get the numbers advantage there. There was a good hidden position from the Ingmar player that was able to shoot Dynamic in the back to take her out, but they got traded back by Broccoli there. Good position and good reactions to the unknown player there, getting it all situated, all easy and stuff to push in, leaving it just to that Lagros player who's in a very, very tough position with that gun, of course, trying to get away. At the end, walking into another line of fire. Certainly tried his best. I got 1 at least with that Lagros. Going back to Union Twilight now. This bank map, I'm curious to see. It looks like they're going to do kind of a similar thing based on this very, very initial drawing from Ozpus here. Ethan as well circling that door. It seems like both teams are kind of prepping for it. Yeah, of course, there's a barb that has to kind of go down entrance. Giving that for free can be pretty difficult, especially if you get someone sprinting really fast into manager with a shotgun or AP and a flash. Could take that guy out there pretty quickly. But a very similar line to what Frogs did from Ozpus here. They're just going to try and blow this red door on the south side hall, take Lone's control, take that hallway control, and then push through counting to get the button while they continue to keep pressure on the vault area so that they can just get in there and defuse. Little change from Ozpus' defending plan with the extinguisher going on in that red door to kind of slow down the push a little bit, maybe buy some time for Frogs to react, reposition, and get ready for a push through Lones. But lots of flashes are drawn out in accounting from Ozpus, but none in the hallway or in Lones. So they might just be going into that a little unprotected no bang before they clear. We'll see if Frogs can kind of take advantage of those few entry moments to get some shots down onto them, get some early damage to slow down the push even more. But we will see what happens. Getting their setup now. It looks like 2 barbs brought out from the attackers, I think. Maybe even 3 actually, or defenders rather, from Frogs. Maybe even 3 actually.
We are going to see a shield from the attackers here, so that's going to be a little fun.
Yeah, that'll change it up. That'll make it a little bit harder to get that initial pick.
See Sleep trying to take some shots there through that door. I don't think anyone's gotten hit yet. Nope, we're going to see that shield just push through. Yep, just fairly safe. We're not seeing any contesting too much. I think Dynamic is getting close to start trying to take a shot. We saw those wall bangs earlier to the door, but nothing was happening. Yeah, they noticed Dynamic, and they're shooting that way. So Dynamic has to rotate out. But they have pretty much full Loans and Halls control. We're still seeing them try and check those little peaks, those little bathroom there. But we're going to see that door to, I think, Accounting getting a little bit pushed with that shield. We do see General pushing into that Tellers, but there we go. We see a flash ready, kick, flash, and that's as simple as it goes. There we go. We're going to see pushing through that barb is going to be a little hard. We do see Index get rid of General there. Some just absolute chaos on this push. Those flashes are really, really hurting Frogs there, as we see both Index and Sleep both go down. And there we go. We see Evan waiting on the other side of that server door with the shotgun. But Dynamic gets around, gets Clemson, but is going to go down herself. And it is just Stormare and Evan left. Some of the newer names. We're going to see Evan waiting with that shotgun. Oh, I've felt that anticipation before. Just wait for the kick and just collect your kill. But I do think the shield is up and ready for that. So we'll see what can really get done here. Yeah, they do have a shotgun. It's going to take the shot to the door. Nothing is going to connect, I think. Trying to take some shots, keep them away. I mean, even if they don't kill them, any second that they can keep them not defusing the bomb is worth it. But we see we see the button get pushed, and then pushing on Evan. But Stormare comes from behind, takes out both of them, and that is going to be the round for Frogs.
Great flank by Store there at the end. Just left the room. He abandoned his teammate. Not really. I think he
maybe baited him. We'll do that.
He kind of took the initial fight there. Had to reload, so he ran away, did a full flank. No one was watching their back, and he got, was it 2 or 3 people?
I think it was 2 people left.
Kind of very well played by Stormare there, and I think Ozpu's got a little bit caught up and focused on that button and that room, and they didn't think about the potential rotate from Stormare. He took them by surprise, got 2 beautiful frags, and secured the round for Frogs there in a situation that looked a little rough for them.
I mean, I think that's why I was similar, thinking like, oh, well, this is probably going to Ozpa's, but Stormare took the initiative and went no.
Yep. Played it very well. As we go back now to this Trumpet Prometheus. This arcade, torch being set down at the front. We're going to get a shutter opens, just one little guy. It looks like there is a saber marked out there as well, so probably some long range line of sight onto the arcade and onto, maybe they can get a tight angle on that teller door. I don't think they can from where that is positioned, but they can watch the rotate from arcade at the very least. Otherwise, they're just going green. No charges on this map, presumably to save for a double charge later. I love Frogs as well.
Frogs showing not just their playing talent, but their artistic talent as well this match.
There was I like this line from the green, just to go through bathroom, hit that power, get Teller very quickly. There is a circle on that arcade door that connects Teller and arcade where someone will probably be playing. On the side of Frogs, and someone to play in Freezer to kind of swing on this barb that is in storage for Frogs as well. It doesn't look like... Oh, there is a knack on Index, actually, so they will have that wallbang potential, so maybe he will be playing Bathroom to kind of cover a little bit and spam into the storage with the rest of them. I didn't see Index load into the map there, which is interesting. But we go now into execution phase. Oh, there he is.
There we go. There we're going to see these cool. Ozpu's ready on this storage. Pushing in, we're going to see Sleep going to take a little bit of a peek. I think maybe try and see what he can do. Try and contest the storage a little bit. But, oh, yep, immediately gets taken out by Clemson. They were ready for that. We see Flash go. Flash went in the storage. And they're flashing Sleep's body. Maybe attempted cremation. But we see a shotgun open that bathroom door. We're going to see Index try and get some knack shots through there. Try and just keep them out there. And I am honestly just fully waiting for Storm just to see what he's about to do.
Oh.
We see Frag go out. They're going to be pushing in. And we see Storm is going to run out. Boom. Takes out Clemson. Going to go right back to the corner. Right back to the full stall waiting. We go Index again, trying to help contest a little bit. But we are going to see them instead. Yeah, I think they've given up on Bathroom. They're going to go for Freezer. Probably a bit safer after they saw that auto shotty. We're going to see Igmar ready on that. Going to take some shots at Sai as well. General, I think, is going to be able to try and get some shots there. No, I think he's trying to shoot there. But yeah, we see them immediately just get behind there. Just absolutely murder that Freezer, both Storm and Index. And it is just General outside right now using, I think, a peek hole made by the little torch there. I'm not really sure what they could do at this point. I think maybe it's just for the... What's the word? For the... Just for the fun of it. But we do see General take out Dynamic. For the principle. That was the word I was looking for.
Trades one back at the very least, so that's a little bit of eco damage to the defenders. Saber's pretty nice on this next map, this factory coming up, so I would imagine he's going to try and save here. Just peeking a little bit. That was very brave. Index. Index says, I don't care that you have the weapon advantage in this scenario. I'm going to peek you anyway, and he wins the gunfight.
Index is like, I got an appointment.
The Saber is going to be very nice.
Index is like, I got an appointment at 5. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
I'm sick of waiting. Take him out and go.
I have to leave in 10 minutes. We need to end this thing. Good aim from Index there to take out the Saber. Re-peek that after running across. Torch also going down, so they don't have Torch to deal with doors on this next map, so they might potentially have to just kick them or take a shotgun on a factory, which isn't very fun, certainly.
They've lost like almost all the fun weapons. They've got Torch, they've got Shield, they've got Saber.
That's true. They did lose. They lost Shield, they lost Torch, they lost Saber. They only have just their Black Tars and APs now. There's also the of course the shotgun, but I doubt they're really going to take that on a factory map. We see a similar plan from Ozpuz with a wall charge blowing out into the bomb site, but they're going to change where the wall charge is being put. I don't know how I feel about that personally.
That's what they were worried about the first time they were defending. They were drawing lines that way.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we'll see.
I think that allows more angles to find you from dock and office, and it allows people to play on that north side walkway where the frogs blew into, where you can get angles on the bomb. So I think, yeah, they've switched it up now. Probably kind of going over some of the similar disadvantages to blowing that wall. You have to exit a room to get there. I think this is just ultimately a little bit better to just make those two blows as quick as possible, and they can kind of avoid that south side. They have a smoke down to kind of prevent the angle that they themselves had on that red door, knowing how deadly it is. But they only really have Black Tars for these long angles. There's no Saber, so with Dynamic on the mop and Stormare on an Ingmar, along with the KR, the big KR coming out, it's going to be a little bit hard, I think, for these attackers, for Ozpuz to kind of push in to these long lines of fire from frogs here. We go now into execution phase. We'll see how this works out for Ozpuz. I think frogs, having played basically the same setup on attack, might have a better idea of what to do to defend it and kind of slow down the push. So
Where's that door charge ready? We're seeing a lot of people looking at that. Yep, immediately clacks. We got 3 people in storage looking at that. No Molly out yet. I think one of them's holding it. We see a smoke go out, Molly go out. Hopefully that can help take a little bit of time off that smoke. Just keep them outside, keep them impatient, make them make mistakes. But we're seeing them. Yep, we see them go in now. Flash goes out. Storm is going to get stormed, technically, and we see them just pushing through. Yeah, Storm is going to actually go behind, but is going to get taken out. Obviously, an absolute bloodbath, just Index going down, and so did, I think, yeah, Storm going down there as well. But they did manage to pick up Wartime there. So there was it wasn't the greatest offensive frog there, real quick. But you know what? They're still alive. They're still going. We do see one just sneak in behind there on Ethan, which is a little rough, using that nice little green door rotate. So Dynamic take a shot and then pull out. So it's just Dynamic and Sleep. Pretty good duo here for this. 4 people they each have to take out. But listen, if they both take out 2, they can do it. I believe in them.
They haven't blown that wall charge yet. Just now going down, so
yeah,
ready for it.
Honestly, at this point, it's like I'm not even sure if it's fully worth it. But we do see, yeah, I'm trying to go around the side there, and Dynamic ready with that mop. The wall charge finally go out. Sleep trying to take some shots on there. I don't think too many. Does manage to get a little bit of hits, but does get taken out, and it is just Dynamic as they are defusing the bomb, trying to get them off of it with the. But nope. Dynamic is going to go down, and the round will go to Ozbuzz.
Yeah, there was a pretty heavy defender presence kind of forward in that initial blow point, that initial execution room for the Ozpus, so they were kind of able to just flash and deal with those defenders. I think it was Stormier and maybe
Storm tried to do a nice
both in that room. They both got flashed, and there was a trade back, but again, Index got killed even after that, so it was just the numbers advantage.
Yeah,
there it was 4v2 at the end of the round, and in a position where they have lights off, and you didn't really have too many flares, if any, down at all on the defender side. It was a little difficult for them for sure, and they just got positioned on the bomb.
Yeah, and Storm tried to do a cheeky little smoke hold, but that didn't work out for him, and then yeah, they put more people in there than I honestly would have expected. When Ozpuz held that, I was like, they had put like no one except for that one person holding that beak, and I was like, okay, maybe like one person there. And I think Frogs did the opposite and went, okay, maybe not 3 people.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they just played a little forward too much. They played a little aggressive into those flashes, unfortunately. Yeah, true. I've seen this strategy a lot with this wall charge down onto kitchen there. It's very nice, but it is kind of difficult to get that wall charge down, especially if the defenders are ready to spam on that big line that they drew down there through that door that you have to funnel through to put the wall charge down. So even like putting a barbed wire on that blue door next to that wall charge can be nice to kind of slow their push, give you some sound cues to play off of. And if they don't blow the construction door, then they have to play through loading, which next to this hall has so many wall bangs that they can shoot through.
That is 2 rough rooms to have to drag the wall charge through.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you have someone with the wall charge in their hands. They have their gun down. They can't fight back. It is just 4 people with guns up. But it seems like the Frogs are kind of focused on the right side of the map right now, the backstage as well, and that hall barb, which can be nice to have. But with that wall charge going down, I don't know that it will be great. It might kind of prevent a flank that is available. But it looks like, based on the setups we have, that this is going to be kind of a relatively easy push for the Ozpus to get into that construction. And yeah, they're basically
2
already
wasted
there.
flashes in that loading. Yeah, they already got loading, and Frogs aren't really contesting it. There's no one. Yeah, there's no one in construction right now, so this is pretty free. They are gonna, I think, nade that back barb, or just trying to get rid of anyone who's possibly hitting back there. We're gonna see some wall bangs right through that direct line you drew. We see Index trying to keep some fuel, the one person in loading. So the wall charge go down, shots going out. Nothing really connecting on both sides. I think Clemson did take a little bit of damage up, but they're gonna be pushing through now. And I don't think on any flashes they're pushing through, but they do manage to get rid of Ethan there. Broccoli's gonna try and come around and get rid of Clemson, but Dynamics is gonna go into General, but Broccoli's gonna come around and get General. We see Storm pushing in, taking out Reds, and also Sizes. It is just the kid left. Storm trying to see what he could do, trying to keep him away with that shotgun. And I think that was Storm that got him right in the back. He walked out, and the round will go to Frogs.
Wow. Very well played by Stormier and Broccoli at the end there. They just played off each other so phenomenally well. Running circles around the attackers as they entered into that space. Index there, I'm sure, giving some fantastic moral support as he wanted to take a break that round. Very well played by Storm. Very well played by Broccoli to get those shots in the repositioning and outmaneuver the opponent there, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty crazy, honestly.
We are now 5-2 in the favor of Frogs going into round 8 here. This is a pretty key round for Ozpus to win, as if they lose it, Frogs get the 6th round, and at the very least they tie.
Oh God, please don't tie. I always have the curse of every time I tie.
there's a bit of an uphill battle for Ozpuz here to try and win this game even. So we'll see if they can manage. I do think this map is a little bit attacker sided based on the castle entry and the beach being so close together. You can kind of clear that castle unless the defenders play heavy castle, molly and stuff. But even then, with the beach just right there, you can kind of get picked off by that saber. Yeah, Index drawing basically exactly where the saber is going to be standing, a line there.
That's my favorite part about this, is always just seeing, it's so fun watching both sides just exactly guess what each other's doing. It's a lot of fun.
It doesn't seem like there's going to be too much contention in castle from the defenders. They're going to be mostly back towards site. So they'll probably try and play pit to get a long angle. They could stack barbs across the south side there. That is a 3 barb commitment. And there's a barb going down in pit to try and stop a jump, it looks like, to prevent them from jumping over that gap. But I don't think even attackers are going to go in that direction at all. I think Ozpuz are just focusing on Castle Beach here. If they can kind of catch some of these defenders out of position, get the picks with the saber and the long range that the Ozpuz does have, we've got 3 black tars rather coming out. So there will pretty similar in range damage, I would say. Maybe the KRM and the Gruber are not as nice against the Black Tar as the Ingmars will be, but see what happens going into execute now.
Yeah, we see Frogs. I feel like, again, kind of like last time, giving up a lot of this map here, but they're I don't know, they capitalized on it pretty well last time, so I'm not gonna count them out for it. We're gonna see Saber getting set up. I think that's that's Ethan ready, but Sleep was feeling cold, went towards the warmth, and apparently didn't work out for him. But we're gonna see some shots go. We do see that that shield pushing through in jungle, but I think Dynamic does manage to get rid of General there with that nice little mop.
Nice shot from
Shield is just sneaking up, trying to see has like the most long range support from Beach. But I mean, I guess as long as he can stay there, keep aggro. But Dynamic is gonna get Clemson over him. The shield not protecting anyone behind it, but the person holding it. We see that Molly go out. Yeah, this is not doing good for Ozpuz here. They got a lot part of the map, but they need that last like 25%, and it's the hardest to get. We see a flash go out, running in with the saber there. A molly, but Dynamic takes out Kid.
Oh my gosh.
It is just 2 on Ozpuz. Reds and Psy trying to see what they can do, but Storm seems to get antsy. He's gonna run out, and take out Reds. And we see it's just Psy gonna throw out a flash, dropping the shield, see what they can do. But fire goes out, Storm takes out Psy, and the round will go to Frogs.
Yeah, Brock Lee decided at the beginning of that round, you know what? These guys don't need me. I'm going to take a break this round. He jumped into pit. He just had the Gruber, so he was like, don't have to worry. Dynamic and Storm able to clean up that round. I don't know how much damage the other guys managed to do, but the 2 Ingmars. But they had that long range advantage. And Dynamic with some great shots to kill 3 there. Pretty heavy swing of momentum, especially with that shield there. The shield couldn't really do anything in the position it was in, just had to stare or reposition and pull out a gun, which I think holding the shield out for that long might have been a little bit of a misplay, but
especially without his team behind him. His team were so far behind that it was just protecting him, and he was not going to get anything from being that close to shield.
He could at least calm to them, but it didn't seem like it mattered to Dynamic with the mop hands. They're just able to deal with them as they pushed out,
turning it into their own private shooting gallery there.
Yeah. Potentially now onto the final round of this game, the final round of the day, I believe. A button in manager here on the right side of the map. This is kind of a similar position of Hall Lone's button scenario. One less room that you have to push through actually to get to the button. So we could see a Hall blow, but it looks like they're going to be focused on green door. And I really like the door charge they have on that green door to deal with the barbed wire. so that they can save their grenade for this teller, which is going to have 2 wires in it. So hopefully they don't double charge this, because they have the grenade and the charge on the same spot. But they could potentially clear all of those barbs rather quickly and get a very quick push through teller, through loans into manager to get that button while they have this lobby control. The vault is a double door here, so they have the servers that the defenders can kind of play around a little bit, or cover, especially for Storm on the auto shoddy there. They'll have great position towards the end of the round for dealing with any vault push that might come through from security, or even if they go through that storage door. Into execute now, as the attackers walk up to this door here, ready to blow it.
Yeah, they have everything.
Storm.
Oh, we see a back smoke to take out that dynamic. That was super good for them, getting rid of. That's gonna get rid of dynamic sightline there. We see a molly go out. Yeah, smoke's gonna get there. We see the frag go out. Molly, I think by accident, got thrown in teller, taking a little bit of damage. We see them pushing in through. They managed to get through into teller. Storm is gonna take out 2 of them though. He's gonna see if he can get behind. He's gonna, doesn't. But we do see a team kill, and it is just Reds left in the back corner as the firing squad comes through, and the round and the game will go to Frogs.
There you go. Frogs take it 7-2. Pretty confident defensive gameplay from them. I think they only dropped 2. How many rounds did they drop? I guess 2 there, it looks like.
Yeah, they dropped.
So very well played on the defender side. And I did notice, Ozpuz did not bring a clacker that last round. They couldn't blow that first door with the door charge. They had to use their grenade, and then pushing into the teller was much more difficult because they had to deal with those barbs there. And there were so many shots in the back, and Stormare, it was in such a great position with the auto shotty. He was able to get 3, I think. Maybe it was just 2. Maybe I could be wrong there, but a great spray down from Stormare, and just like putting Ozpuz in such a difficult position to kind of come back from with the positioning of Frogs, that they had so many crossfires on that entrance door, and that 5-man push just got shut down real fast by the Frogs there.
Yeah, just that there was so much potential there, but it got blown away way quicker than I thought it really would. I thought that round would go a little longer.
I did like the smokes that they put down, the one to the blue door that had a good line of sight onto the entrance there, but the second one that went down didn't go as deep. It was a little bit forward, and it gave the defenders some cover to play around. The auto shotty able to sit in that smoke, and the attackers not really even noticing that it was there. He got the shots into their back, just absolutely owned them. And that just kind of sealed the deal there. And then the team kill even on top of that. Ozpuz having kind of a rough final round there.
I'm not surprised that Storm just running in.
I know, when there's an auto shotty running at you at that close range and you have an AP in your hands, that's pretty scary. You know, you're just going to be shooting. You're not going to be thinking about if your teammate's going to walk out in front of you. Happy with the performance of Frogs. Them winning means that I might get to play tomorrow. So, hey, that's a good thing, you know, in my book. I'll take that. Yeah, looking at the stats here, I see Stormare with 1,800 damage for that game. Broccoli sitting at 1,200. I pulled these up on my own. Ethan playing well for being kind of new to the game. Only doing 560 damage, but with an 89% cast. Helping the team nearly every round. The only one with a cast as high as him in the game, or I guess actually Wartime General, with 100% cast on the side of Ozpuz, is playing very well. But Dynamic also with an 89% cast for the Frogs there. And Storm 14-4-2. What a phenomenal game from him. The Australian playing on, I don't even know what servers those were. Maybe Central, maybe East.
I think we do East usually.
Regardless, he has a lot of ping that he has to deal with. So getting 1,800 damage is pretty phenomenal as well. And there's one thing I do want to point out. It looks like Ozpuz had much better opening duel win rate than Frogs, but Frogs just able to kind of convert later round pressure and mid-round play into secured wins for the team.
I think we saw that
kills coming out from Ozpuz, they weren't able to convert that to round wins.
Yeah, Yeah, I think that was pretty emblematic with how they, especially in those later rounds, they did start just like giving up so much, like 75 to like 50% of the map at the start, and then just holding that 25% as like hard as they could. So I think, yeah, they definitely, opening was difficult for them, but they ended up always closing pretty well.
Yeah. Yep. They had good clumps, good team play together. Frogs in those tight groupings, in those bunkers that they were setting up on the defensive side.
Yeah. But that is going to be our stream for today. So everyone, thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching. For all the players, thank you for playing, and for the production, thank you for putting our faces up here.
I know. Thank you for making it such a beautiful graphics, making this professional stream. It's wonderful to be able to see all the work that you guys have been putting in for so long kind of come to fruition finally. All these visuals, all this wonderful stuff. Very, very wonderful. Yeah. That'll be it for us, I suppose.
Yeah.
Today, I imagine. More games tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll have a best of threes. I think we're going into now that we're in quarterfinals. I don't know if that's true or not.
You might actually speak it into the ether.
Quarterfinals yet? Yeah, I could be spreading misinformation, so I'm sorry if that is the case. But excited to see more games tomorrow. Excited to see more of y'all. Thanks again for watching these games today. Very, very fun. Exciting to get the DPL started once again.
It's nice to come home.
Certainly.
See y'all later.